Hi everyone, my name is Dee Roussel, also known as Deja, and today I want to highlight 3 artists that I think you should know about. This is actually for day 6 of Kwanzaathon, which of course is hosted by Shay with the Hobbies and Britt. Today is Kuumba, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right because I realized after watching a few other people's videos that I pronounced day 2 completely wrong, and it is Kujichagulia instead of Kujichagulia, like I said. So I completely apologize for that. But day 6 is about creativity. And so for the prompt today, it wanted us to highlight 3 lesser known artists in any industry. So here are the 3 that I think that you should know about. The first one is a podcast called My Imaginary Friends, and this is hosted by Leslie Penelope. Leslie Penelope is the author of the Earthsinger Chronicles and Savage City and Monsters We Defy and some other things. I really like listening to her podcast, which she posts on YouTube, and her channel will be linked down below. But also, I think it's on like all podcasting websites. I'm not really sure about that though. But I love listening to her podcast because she is a hybrid author, and so seeing her perspective on how she is navigating being like traditionally published but also being self-published or indie published is really interesting. I feel like I learned a lot of things from her, not even just in terms of like which route is like better, because I don't think I've actually heard her talk about that before, but I feel like I learned a lot from her on her podcast. Like she's always linking like resources and talking about where she's at in her craft and writing and stuff. So I think that it's definitely a podcast that you should definitely listen to if you are thinking about either being a hybrid author or even if you just want to go down one route or another. I think her talks about craft are really beneficial, and even when she's talking about like marketing or something like that, like she always links the resources for those things that she talks about in the description box of her YouTube channel, or probably in the show notes for the podcast. The second artist that I also want to highlight is Audra from Between the Reads podcast. She's also an author, but I wanted to highlight her podcast because I honestly don't think that it's getting enough love. Plus, you cannot buy her book yet. So I will spotlight the podcast for now. But Between the Reads is a podcast that basically celebrates and promotes Black books. And this is like indie books or even traditional books or anything in between, whatever that is. I really like this one because I'm always discovering unknown authors. I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast or watched a podcast on YouTube where I knew who the author was. And I really enjoy that because we know that there's always that token like Black book that people are gonna like super hype up, and then like you don't really hear about anything else. But I really like this podcast because it does spotlight all of those books that are getting like overshadowed or not even talked about at all. The last one that I want to mention is actually a blog that was just launched a few weeks ago, I want to say, and this is called blackasff.com. And this is actually hosted by my critique partner, Brittany. And I'm super excited that she launched this blog. And I really like the revamp that she did, because she did have a blog before. But I do like this new one that is geared more towards entertainment in general in Black SFF. The few reviews that I have seen have been movies, but I have seen a list of anticipated releases as well. The thing that I really wanted to spotlight on this blog though is the actual reviews of the TV shows and movies. She reviewed Jingle Jangle and Kindred, the TV show that just came out, and honestly there's like some of the most well-written reviews that I've ever seen of those like films. And honestly I do think like in most industries like we need a lot more Black people to be reviewing these movies that feature us and offering criticism about it. And I really liked her perspective on like what she said with Kendrick. Like, I feel like it gave me a good idea of what to expect when I watch it, and also facilitate a lot of good discussions, which of course, as we know, that I mentioned in like day 3 of Kwanzaathon, like I love conversations that facilitate discussions. But that wraps up the 3 artists that I wanted to highlight for today. Please let me know if there are any artists that you know that people should know more about. I would love to find more people. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you for the last day of Kwanzaathon. Bye.